Finch, out on Apple TV+, new science fiction film starring Tom Hanks. In the world of the film, Earth was ravaged by natural disasters following a solar flare in the very near future. Society collapsed, survivors are scattered to the wind. Tom Hanks plays Finch, an engineer who managed to survive and now lives his solitary life as a scavenger in St. Louis. Well, not so solitary as it turns out, because he is also taking care of a dog, and he's got a small robot like Rover to help him out. At the beginning of the film, he finally gets enough supplies together to finish constructing a bigger robot, walking on two legs, using two arms, essentially a droid modeled after a human being. But before the robot is even fully taught everything he will require to survive and help, Finch gets a weather forecast that predicts massive storms coming over St. Louis, which are supposed to stay there for longer periods of time, making it impossible to go out and gather supplies. So he makes the decision that before the storm hits, he will finally change locations. He gets into the RV he owns and heads due west to San Francisco. And so begins this road trip of discovery with a human, a robot, and a dog. Now, I have to say I liked the film more than I thought I would. The concept of lone man surviving after the apocalypse has been done to death, and there are also echoes in here of movies like Castaway and The Martian, with Finch using practical engineering approach to solve many of his problems. But there is also genuine heart at the center of the film in the bond forming between Finch and the robot. And the robot is of course given a human personality, which makes him a funny klutz at the beginning, but then he slowly grows into someone more. I like that the movie also manages to avoid some of the post-apo tropes, and you know, it doesn't delve into external conflict, other survivors, action scenes. No, for the majority of the film, it's just the three characters, and the strongest parts are the quiet scenes of conversation. Now, I do admit that a large part of why the movie works for me so well was Tom Hanks' performance. I think it's heartfelt and genuine, and he showcases a whole range of emotions, from wonder, curiosity, humor, and optimism, to frustration, fear, anger. If there's one thing I would really criticize, there is one significant plot point in the film where, not to spoil anything, something bad happens, and we immediately think, wow, this is serious. And the character's reaction to that makes it also very clear that this is a major problem. But then the movie just sort of goes on, and there are never any visible consequences to what happens, so that was a bit awkward. But personally, I was able to kind of wave that away very quickly, because I was caught up in the emotional journey, enough so that I didn't have to nitpick the mechanics of the story, to the point that I'll admit I got a little emotional towards the end. So I think Finch is well within that range of solid movies, which are not groundbreaking in any way, but because they know what they're aiming for and they execute that premise very well, they end up being pretty enjoyable viewing experiences.